Hello, welcome to the Market Pulse here in Orlando, Florida for June 2023. So let's talk a little bit about this market. We're 6 months through 2023. Wow. I remember when we were sitting here in January talking about what this year might look like. And I'm happy to say halfway through the year, we kind of called it pretty close to the way it's been. And let's talk a little bit about what that sounded like then and now. Well, back in January, we had some of our softest numbers we had since 2009 when the market was decimated by the financial collapse. So we started the year out very, very slow. And now, if we look at where we were at last year, which was a pretty good year overall, our inventory is the same as it was in June of 2022. So our numbers for inventory are about 5,400 homes to sell, which is still down almost 50% to normal. Normal is about 10,000 homes in Orlando, give or take a couple hundred in any given year. But so we're still down in inventory. So this tells us that we are still in a seller's market. Okay. Interest rates are still hovering around that 6.6%, 6.7% interest rate. And when we look back a year ago, we were at about 5.5. So what that's still doing is that's affecting our sale numbers, our closed sale numbers. Well, when we look at that, you want to know what the sales numbers are. We're at about 3,150 closed sales in June versus about 3,750 in 2022, June of 2022. We're about 600 down. But to be honest with you, a lot of those people that were closing in June were still buying houses and closing in that 3 to 4% interest rate. Well, here's some interesting facts. When you look at people with those 3% interest rates, I'm one of those people. 28% of Americans still have 3% or under interest rates, okay, which promotes them not to want to sell the house because the money was so cheap. So hopefully the people with interest rates that low can keep them. They would be great as a rental. They'd be great as a second home. And then when we move up to 4%, it's about 60% of people have a interest rate 4% or less. And then it starts graduating up under 6%. About 90% of Americans have an interest rate under 6%. So as we move throughout this year, next year, and we kind of get used to having that 6 to 7% interest rate, that will be the new normal. So let's talk about what the new normal is today. New normal is in Orlando, median home price, right around that 385. Beginning of the year, we started at 350. We've gotten all the way to 385. So we've gained about $35,000 in median price appreciation. But like we talk about every year, we're going to give some of that back by the end of the year. So we'll probably be somewhere right around that 360, 365 median price. We just won't know where interest rates will be. We do know that last October and November, we touched 7% interest rates. Hopefully the Fed will stop raising the rates, which will keep those interest rates, hopefully, maybe even getting into the low sixes and maybe into the fives by the end of the year. That's what a lot of intelligent people are talking about. Another article that we read about our market is in Florida, 57% of buyers use PMI. And what's PMI? It's private mortgage insurance when you don't have 20% to put down. And this is the best news that I've heard in a long time. As of July 1st, they just revamped the Florida Hometown Heroes program to where in June of last year, the local government in Florida rolled out a Hometown Heroes program for first-time home buyers, military, first responders, medical people, educators. It was a small group of people that could actually get interest-free money for down payments and closing costs. And as of July 1st, it opened up to still first-time home buyer or haven't owned a house in the last 3 years, people with a median credit score of between 640 or right around that 640 number. You have to work for a Florida-based company or work in Florida. So it's a very Florida-centric program. But what this entitles you to, and this is what's fantastic, guys, up to $35,000 in free money that will be paid back once you sell your house and or refi. Okay, so they give you this money to get you in the house, so you don't have to come up with extra money. It's interest free until one day you sell it. And if the average American moves every 7 years, you will build up plenty of equity in that house and not pay interest on that money. It's fantastic. To learn more about that, feel free to contact me directly. But before we go any further, Stephen would kill me if I didn't say, if you could just go ahead and like, you could subscribe so you can get these updates, and then again, comment. We really, really like when you comment so we can talk a little bit about your perception of the market, our perception of the market, and what's really going on in our Florida market and specifically Central Florida. Well, look, have a wonderful day. If you see value, please leave a comment. If you don't see a value, we'll see you next month. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.